It's the best set of cameras on a foldable. Happy New Year! Where companies like OnePlus, they seem to carry a reputation for poor camera performance. I genuinely believe that folks have been missing out on solid shooters since the OnePlus 8 Pro. As a camera snob, I was disappointed in the transition from the 10 Pro to the 11. It's a fine camera, and we got a lower price, but it more immediately felt like a downgrade. The Open arrives as a return to premium tier components and competitive premium photography, made all the more exciting that it's a reasonably sized foldable. Few companies can make the same claim about their most expensive devices sold in 2023. Open truly is the best of everything OnePlus can currently offer. While we face some compromises like camera bulge size, and there are some software issues I hope can be addressed in future updates, there's very little standing in the way of an Open user to deliver competitive mobile photography and videos. At the heart of this is a wonderfully consistent experience. Most settings, modes, and features are available across all camera lenses. The user can focus more on composition than trying to memorize a flowchart of what features are available in which modes on what sensors. Combined with some crowd-pleasing post-processing influence from their Hasselblad collaboration and the flexibility tricks we enjoy on foldables, we arrive at a monster content creation platform for any phone this year, but the top marks for a folding phone launched in 2023. Due in no small part to this great trio of cameras reminiscent of the Oppo Find X6 Pro we recently reviewed. I finally got around to getting that video out. The Open is focusing on 3 distinct focal lengths and the largest image sensors to use in each position for this class of phone. The main wide camera is a fantastic new 1/1.43 inch type sensor boasting a new stacked design that improves on soaking up light. The claim made by OnePlus, it can gather as much light as the current 1-inch type sensors available on the more camera-focused Pro and Ultra phones. The ultra-wide is just a step larger than most of our other companion sensors. This proper half-inch type sensor just slightly outpacing the matched sensors on a phone like the Xiaomi 13 Ultra. It doesn't completely return us to the huge ultra-wide on the OnePlus 9 Pro or the aforementioned Find X6 Pro, but it's still one of the larger options sold in 2023. And the surprise of the trio, the telephoto is a half-inch type sensor, but not from Sony. This piece courtesy of OmniVision. That brand has often been associated with the lowest cost and sometimes poorest performing options put into budget phones, and they supplied the somewhat lackluster long telephoto on the Vivo X80 Pro. So we'll have to take a closer look at that sensor when we get into some photo samples. Happily, in terms of consistency, all 3 sensors are quad Bayer types. All 3 will include support for higher quality pixel cropping zoom and high resolution modes. But of course, a camera review is more than just counting up all the dozens and dozens of megapixels and then looking at a handful of lazy HDR samples. We gotta dig a bit deeper than that. Okay, so wrapping all of this up, OnePlus delivers a monster performer that feels like a return to the glory days of the OnePlus 9 Pro. It's not going to be the most complete package available. It's not billing itself as a DSLR replacement pro-tier camera for famous film directors to shoot their movies on. OnePlus isn't trying to play that game. That the system is on a foldable does give it a few handy tricks beyond conventional phones. And it's a solid upgrade over the OnePlus 11, which aligns with the Open's higher price tag. The choices made here align with the current trend of Oppo phones, and I think this reinforces the data and the evidence that OnePlus cameras have been solid and competitive platforms for several generations now. If you've been sleeping on OnePlus since the OnePlus 8 Pro, you've been missing some great camera performers. It's crazy how these truisms just kind of take root, where I still encounter tech reviewers today. You can tell they have not put much effort into shooting on a OnePlus, where they just keep repeating what they've always known since like the OnePlus 6. No, they're really good. They're just not exactly the same as the iPhone style photography that these reviewers are more familiar with. The familiarity, that matters. But I digress, getting back to this. The hardware and the software, just such a significant step above the OnePlus 11. Such a refreshing return to form, a nice feature evolution. I mean, so much so, I think it's real easy to award this the best cameras on a foldable. But it wouldn't be a OnePlus camera review without a little controversy, and a few of these software decisions and gremlins might completely sour the user experience depending on your shooting style. It's tough for me to estimate this anymore because the issues I had reviewing the phone, and often while pushing it to some extremes, are not likely the situations folks will casually shoot photos from their phones. There's a small but not insignificant chance someone could own the Open, use it for years, and never encounter the things that irritated me. Happily, I can wrap up this review with praise again though, that this is the first foldable I feel is really camera complete, where the Google and Samsung Folds make a few more compromises to the overall shooting experience. There is no better camera system available on a OnePlus. Even tracking back to the vaunted OnePlus 9 Pro, the Open is a champ. It's just a really good camera system that happens to be on a foldable. And I expect we'll see some similar hardware on the OnePlus 12. I mean, even if we just get an Open that doesn't open, that's gonna be a really good option for 2024. And that's where we're gonna finish this one up, folks. As always, thanks so much for watching, for contributing, sharing, and supporting this Patreon project. These reviews are Patreon exclusives. They're just for you. So when folks do share, I greatly appreciate when you're sharing the Patreon post. Bring more cool people to supporting this project. Only the cool people though. These videos would literally not be possible without your support. And as we go into the new year, I've got a lot of exciting stuff planned for this channel, not the least of which is just finally getting around to finishing up my Pixel 8 Pro camera deep dive. Now that we have all of the video boost features to talk about, that one's gonna be a really interesting video. Stay tuned. I look forward to your comments and questions and conversations here on the Patreon, and I'll catch you all on the next review.